I have a serious question for those of you who are AMC apes, or maybe you don't call yourself an ape, you just consider yourself a believer in AMC and everything that they have going on. So I do want to ask you a question because I did a video a few weeks ago and I got a bunch of comments, as you'll see here. I'll go through a couple of them that paint an overall picture, pretty much that I'm an idiot, I don't understand, and all of that, which is fine, which is fair. But like I said, I at least want to ask a question back because I asked this from a very serious and genuine place. But let's establish some context of what, the AMC apes were essentially throwing my way. So Tyler says, come on, no one is selling AMC, artificial manipulation. So there's one of the claims, nobody's actually selling, this is all artificial manipulation, okay? Now, between all that, he's talking about the failure to deliver, the dark pools, the hedge funds, there's no shorts, all that sort of stuff. So the typical AMC, and I'm not going deep into that because I know you as an AMC ape, you already understand all that stuff. So there's no need to repeat back to you what you are already saying are the points. So I'm aware of the dark pools, the failure to deliver, all that sort of stuff. But between that, that's idea errors. It's artificial manipulation. I'm clueless. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then Jason says, so much positive news, I could go on and on, yet shenanigans continue and shorts continue to pound the price. The price is not real, and in the end, we will win. Again, I realize I skipped over a lot of that, but just a lot of the same stuff with the FTDs, the dark pools, all that stuff. But the whole idea is, hey, shorts are to blame. The shorts are pounding down the price, but it's not real. It's imaginary, because, and that goes back to that first comment, it's all artificial. And in the end, the AMC apes are going to win. So I do want to start off in the spirit of being intellectually honest and, fair. I will concede that all these things are possible because it would be intellectually dishonest for me to say, no, none of this is possible. No, fine. I will agree that, and I can agree and find common ground that this stuff all is possible. But here's where my question comes into play. What I'm about to talk about, is this at least possible? So all I'm suggesting is for you to ask, is what I'm about to talk about at least possible? Is it at least, does it have any sort of being, possible at all? So just a few days ago, some articles started to come out because there was a big news release from AMC, actually a filing, which you have to do to file with the SEC since they're a publicly traded company. And the title, AMC plans to sell stock. So my first question, we have AMC saying, hey, we are going to sell stock. And when more supply enters into the equation, the basic economics, more supply tends to lower down prices. So that's kind of just one thing I'm throwing out there. Hey, the company itself is saying, hey, we're going to sell more stock. We're going to add more supply. You then also have the company calling itself highly speculative. More specifically, the common stock that everybody's talking about. So common stock, highly speculative. So let's think about this. The company is admitting we will be selling more stock. And along with this, they're calling their stock highly speculative. I take that back. They didn't say highly. They just said highly speculative. Here's another thing that I'm just throwing out there, that there is a bunch of drama, but there was a court battle where some common stockholders tried to block the move. In other words, try to block all this selling. So is it possible that they try to block this move because these shareholders were like, wait a second, that's going to be really bad for us as common shareholders. So let's try to block it. Is that maybe why they would try to block it? Because it would actually been bad for the common shareholders? Again, is that at least possible? Is there at least a little bit of logic on my part? Now, we already covered this, but they plan to sell up to 40 million shares of its common stock. Here's the part that I'm just throwing out there. 40 million, that is a lot of shares. But the whole thing about this recent equity distribution agreement that allows it to sell 390 million new common stock. 390 million. So right now it's only 40 million shares that they've announced that they'll actually do, but they can do up to 390 million new shares. So again, going back to that first point, they're adding new supply. So in my mind, okay, new supply that would seem to push prices down. So why are they selling all this stuff? I mean, that's a fair, valid question. Proceeds from the sale will be used to improve liquidity, refinance, and repay loans, the filing said. AMC has $9.5 billion of debt. So again, I see $9.5 billion of debt, and that makes sense why they would need to start to sell stuff and why their stock is becoming very, very speculative because, well, there's going to be a lot more new stock and the company's got a lot of debt. And, so like I said, that's where I'm coming from on why the price of AMC has been going down. So my contention is it's not artificial. It's going down because you have the company flat out saying we are selling stock. We're selling a lot of stock because we have all this debt. That's where I'm coming from. So all my question to you is, what I just presented and my logic and rationale behind it, is that at least possible? That's all I'm asking. Is it at least possible that what I'm thinking is possible? That's it. That's it. And if we can agree, and we both should agree in the spirit of intellectual honesty, that what you're saying, I agree, is possible, and I'm assuming that what you are telling me is possible. So my next follow-up question would be, okay, well, which sounds to be more plausible? Because if we're both being intellectually honest, we agree that both sides is possible. So now we've entered into the arena of what it seems to be more plausible. Is there some sort of big conspiracy where you have all this stuff going on, which is what you as an ape are arguing for? Or is it a little bit more plausible that it's just a company that's got a lot of debt, it's got to sell a bunch of shares? And the final thing being, why would they be saying all this stuff? Because they're covering themselves. They don't want a bunch of people coming back and suing them and saying, you drove your stock into the ground. No, they're covering their tails right now. So is that at least, again, plausible, possible on my end, that the reason why they're just flat out announcing that they're doing all this, they're flat out announcing that their stock is highly speculative because they're covering their backside because their lawyers are like, hey, cover your backside right now so that if lawsuits do fly in, you can say, what are you talking about? We publicly disclosed we were going to be doing all this. We publicly called our stock very speculative, right? Is that possible? Is that maybe something that they would be thinking? And if it is possible, then it's just an argument of plausibility. And I just personally feel that my thinking is a little bit more plausible on what's actually going on here. So that's all I have to ask is, what I presented, is it possible? And then can you at least understand where I'm coming from in terms of thinking it might be a little bit more plausible? So that's all I have is hopefully we can agree with that. But that is my question, because sometimes I get the idea that, people just don't think that anything else is possible. Like this is actually it. But I did want to at least present my side, because as you saw, I was getting accused of being clueless, and I kind of speak for other people that agree with me. We're all getting accused of being clueless. So I wanted to at least, in the spirit of a good conversation, just ask back, well, at least can you see what we're saying and acknowledge it? It's maybe, possibly, possible. That's all I'm asking. So let me know your comments down below, especially for you AMC Apes. I want to hear from you. Can you at least see where I'm coming from? That's all I'm asking. So let me know down in the comment section. And maybe you agree with me already, and I missed out on something that can maybe make things a little bit more plausible from our viewpoint, then by all means point that out in the comment section too. But that's all I have for you. Is it at least possible? First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.